It's time for a break.
I'm Elijah.
I'm Jeff.
And we're Breaking 307, coming at you again with another video. This time we're going to talk about whether the United States should be allowing Syrian refugees, I guess, to come live here. Your first thoughts?
My first thought is yes, we should be allowing Syrian refugees to come into the United States because I feel like we have an obligation to help out our fellow mankind, or fellow humans, excuse me.
I agree, but at the same time, we do need to keep in mind that at the end of the day, we have to protect the homeland. If it comes to the point where we're sacrificing our own safety to help everybody else out, we need to think about that. I think a lot of times the United States looks at, or we look at ourselves as the saviors, trying to help out everybody, and we can't necessarily do that. We can't help everybody. This world is a crazy place, and there's not a whole lot we can do to fix that. We can try, but if it sacrifices our well-being, I'm not sure that's the best idea.
Like, as far as risk, are we talking about people potentially that are terrorists coming over with ill intentions, or what exactly?
I'm saying like, you know, if somebody's trying to get at them and we rescue them, maybe they'll come here and still try to get at them because they're here, and maybe they'll come at us because we're trying to help them. So it's just like, I mean, we're already targets.
Well, in that sense, since we are already targets, can we make ourselves more targets by actually helping these people? Because ISIS is already trying to do whatever they can to mess with us and the rest of the Western world. So I don't think by accepting Syrian refugees we're going to make ourselves a bigger target, because we already are the biggest target in the world with all we've done in the last 30 years. So I don't think we can make our situation any worse in that regard. They already hate us, so can they hate us any more than what they already do?
You do have a point. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I read that certain states have, at least in the United States, they have different opinions about whether they should or shouldn't. And they're trying to get legislation passed, and you need a passport. You can't be there in the past 5 years. That's Iraq, Syria, places like that where they suspect terrorism, you know, to take place, things like that. So they're trying to filter people and monitor it as best as we can. But it's a slippery slope.
It's like, we can't filter out all these people. Like, even if every 1 in every 10,000 or 100,000 is a terrorist, would we not be doing the greater good of taking in more of these people? Because things are already happening in this country that we can't stop. Like, we had the Boston bombings a couple years ago. Like, nearly a decade ago now, we had the attacks on September 11th. We couldn't stop them then. We can't stop it all from happening. There are people who are still going to die regardless of what we do or do not do to try and filter out people. So I feel like the best thing we can do is try and help out as many people as we can, because people are still going to end up dying over here or over there, regardless of how much security and how many restrictions you put on people for coming here.
Yeah, I agree. I think we should. I think we should help them. Being that they're at home for them is a war zone, I think the United States may be the best option. But then also we are a target, so I'm kind of like, yeah, we should help them. At the same time, we are targeted. Also, the United States, when it comes to us, they may put us like on the back burner and like help the Syrian refugees more than us. Like how with the immigration, with immigrants, they seem to get them help quicker than us. So.
That's a good point. I didn't think of that. If that were to be the case, you would get more outrage, things like that have already, you know, begun to happen. I've heard rumblings about, oh, we should just shut off the borders altogether. If you're in, you're in. If you're out, well, you're out. But what would that really help? At the end of the day, we could still end up in you know, the Third World War if whatever is still going on overseas continues to go on overseas. Cutting off everybody isn't, like you said, isn't going to stop it.
That's impossible. Like, we're talking 19th century foreign policy. That's completely impossible, where we can just close off the borders and expect not to have to worry about helping these people when it's all over the internet, it's all over the news, you hear about it all the time. So shutting the borders off isn't really going to do anything to try and limit how much we hear about this. I mean, the problems are still going to keep going on whether or not we stick our heads in the sand, so you either proactively help or you don't do anything, and then that's only hurting the people who are being slaughtered by the thousands over there.
I don't know. This world is a crazy place. I honestly don't feel like we can do anything to stop it. You can hope to contain it, but what can you really do? So, without further ado, that is Breaking 307 coming back at you. Like I said at the beginning, my name is Elijah.
I'm Jeff.
And this is Breaking 307.
Peace.